Hey guys, it's Rafa the Pickleball Tech Dude here. I am off to record a This Week in Pickleball episode with Aaron in just a little bit here. But something that has been weighing really heavily on my mind, especially before I go out to do activities like this and just enjoy being in pickleball, is the number of families that were impacted tragically by the KERR County flood disaster in Central Texas this past week. For anybody unfamiliar with the situation, there was a massive, unexpected flood event that occurred in KERR County, which is just about outside San Antonio, about 2.5 hours from Houston, Texas, where I grew up. The disaster was handled awfully, not just by the local officials, but especially domestically by the political powers that be. The disaster, currently, I believe the death toll is over 120 people, with 160 more still missing. Among those are dozens of children who attended Camp Mystic, which is a camp that I grew up with some classmates that would attend that camp regularly in the summer. It's just awful, that entire situation. I do, of course, want to offer my sincerest condolences if there is anybody who is watching this video who might have been impacted as a direct result of what can only be described as just pure incompetence. It deeply affects me, and it makes me emotional at times to think about the number of families that are missing family members, missing children of theirs due to something like this that, could have at least been responded to in a much better way. So all of this to say, I did want to take some time out of the video to talk about this and to implore all of you to help in any way that you can. So the last time, if anybody recalls, during the LA fires was actually around the time I recorded my first episode of This Week in Pickleball. If y'all can believe it, it was over 3 months ago now. And at that time, I matched all donations to the relief efforts that I specified in that video. For this video, I do want to do the same thing. For anybody that DMs me a screenshot of any direct donations to any KERR County flood disaster relief efforts, I will be directly matching those. And there are also a lot of companies in pickleball and outside of pickleball that are doing their part. So especially if you are in the Texas region, I would implore you to look around at what the other companies around you might be doing. My Instagram handle is @PBTechDude. Please send screenshots. If you did make a donation, I will be matching those. And I will do so for as long as I possibly can. So with all that said, thanks so much for indulging me for a moment to speak about something that really matters to me, even though it's not pickleball related. And let's go ahead and get into the things that are.
I broke it.
You can literally see it where you fucked it up.
Sponsored by Great Valley Water.
Facts. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode of This Week in Pickleball.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Rafa.
Oh, I didn't realize we actually started.
Yeah, no, we're actually starting.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're live.
It's time to be professional.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, take the shoes off.
Oh, yeah, shoes got to come off
Okay.
first. All right, now we're primed. Okay, sick.
I'm ready to go.
All right, bet. Well, we have to do one thing, Aaron, before we get into my official question of the day. Please remove your hat.
Shoot.
Fresh cut.
No, that's why you want people to see
I want people to see the
my
fresh
luscious locks, man.
Yes,
They're gone.
They're gone now. I never said this, but every time that we'd come and record together, I'd be like, I wonder how. I was keeping a mental clock of how long it would be before you actually cut your hair, and it's finally happened.
Yeah, it was getting too hot.
Yeah, for sure. This Texas heat is no fucking joke, dude.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Cool. Just wanted to show that off for the people. Aaron is not an eligible bachelor, so unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
yeah, but the new haircut, I'm liking it, dude. All right, Aaron, let's get into. So again, I want to start with a quick question today. So we're gonna kind of dive into this topic a little bit later as well, but what is your opinion on companies releasing different shapes or of a original paddle release like months down the line? Do you think that that's a good idea?
It honestly depends on how popular their shapes are, right? Like, or how popular that original line is. So I would say if people are like, oh, I really like, I don't know, any one of these paddles, and I wish it had a slightly lower swing weight, and I like the way it feels, but I'm more of a hybrid player or something, then I think it makes sense. But if it's just to come out with another shape, I'd probably say no.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree, but I also, here's my thing, is that let's say that somebody has tried a paddle and doesn't like it, doesn't like any of the shapes that came out. When that same company releases a shape down the line, my thought is they are trying to capture a different player type or a different player preference than the original shapes did it. But if somebody already tried those and is like, I don't like them, then what is really going to motivate them to try the new shape? Because they're just going to be like, mentally, it's the same paddle, just a different shape.
It's hard, right? Because a lot of the times I feel like actually these newer shapes. So like here, let's
get going.
We'll just jump into this real quick.
Yeah.
Like first paddle, I would say that this kind of relates to would be the new Ripple R5 14, V2 14, right? Initial complaints were, what the heck? Why is the swing weight so high on all of these new Ripples? And everyone's like, oh yeah, if it was significantly lighter and it still had that same power, I would love the Ripple.
Yeah.
Right? And so then you come out with this guy and you're like, oh, hello, swing weight. The swing weight is so much better.
So much better.
Right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, I could do this. But I think your paddle at least has to have like a very strong following of something. Like I think the one thing that was nice about RONBUS and the Ripple is that they came out with a bunch of paddles for beta testing, alpha testing. So people already knew what the initial hype was. And then something else, due to whatever PB core and all that stuff, forced them to kind of change the way they weighted the paddle and constructed the paddle.
Right.
And so then it's like, okay, now it's slightly heavier than what everyone's used to. So then everyone's wishing like, I want it to be lighter. I want lower swing weight, right? And so then eventually you come out with this guy and it's like, okay, there was already a market for this and now you're filling that need of what you had previously created, but then kind of took away.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I guess now the hope is that, for these companies is that somebody like us will come out and actually talk about the paddle so that, those people are willing to give it another try. But yeah, let's dive in here. We've got a big stack today, but not a lot of different companies, just the same companies releasing multiple
a lot of
paddles.
Yeah.
Just a lot of paddles themselves. But this is, again, the new RONBUS Ripple V2 R5 14 mils. The first time that RONBUS is coming with an R5 shape. On paper, it's technically a standard shape. It's a 16 by 8 dimensions, but it is flared out like the R4 still. Still same internal construction with the fire core. Like you mentioned, much lower swing weight. I measured it on my graffiti at home. The swing weight on this one comes in at 113. So this is kind of the range that we were seeing with the original and what people were wanting on the new one. It does still have the grip length is 5.5 inches. It's still going to MSRP for $280. That's another pet peeve of mine is sometimes companies will release a new paddle and then they'll increase the price on it because it's like, oh, it's a new shape. It's cool. It's new. It's like, it's the same paddle. Keep it the same price. RONBUS did that. We're still at $280. It's $252 after discount code RAFA should you guys choose to pick it up. What were your actual thoughts of the play experience with it, though?
I think it needs to break in a little bit. but I did like it more than the original ones that were just released.
Yeah.
So the production model.
Mm-hmm.
Swing weight was so much more manageable. This one, I feel like there is room for customization, which was nice. I felt stock sweet spot was a little bit smaller than I would have liked it to have been.
Yeah.
But overall, solid paddle. I think it's kind of hard though because there's a lot of really good paddles out right now.
Yes.
And 280 is kind of a big ask.
Yeah. Pretty much when you are going above right now, above the 225 range or 230 range, even with discount code, that's going to be a harder and harder ask moving forward. I will say I 100% agree with you. I think that, this does need to break in a little bit more. The initial kind of play experience with the Ripple V2, and this went across the board. It's nothing new. It's not, anything we didn't see before. But it does feel a little bit more, it feels more responsive rather than muted. And it does have a more pingy feel rather than plush. But when it breaks in, it is a completely different paddle. So I will keep playing with this, probably mini review it, because there's not much to be said more than what hasn't already been said, to be honest. But if this plays, if this breaks in and changes in feel to the same degree that the other ones did, then I think this should be the most popular shape.
Yep.
And you see, and that's another reason why I asked my question today, is because we're going to get into another paddle, and then we even talked about the GTOC last week from Paddle Tech. That is the best shape in the Bantam lineup, I think, in my opinion.
I think so as well,
and
hands down.
Yeah, and yet, if somebody has tried a Paddle Tech and doesn't like it, the GTOC is also kind of an ugly shape. What are the odds that somebody comes back and tries it? I feel like they're kind of low. For the Ripple, I feel like a lot of people have bought into the R4 already, which is still, again, of the originals, the best shape that was. With the R5 coming out, how much more how much more can they really do? How many more players can they garner?
Yeah.
I will have to see.
I feel like that's hard, right? Because I feel like people who have already bought an R4 are not going to go out of their way to buy an R5.
People who bought an R4 should not go out and get the R5.
Yeah.
Like, the R5 is better, but it is not better enough to spend even more money to get the R5. With all that to say, if you've tried the Ripples of the past and one of your chief complaints were probably sweet spot size, which again we'll follow up on once it breaks in, and especially on the swing weight, if those were your two chief complaints, then this is the Ripple paddle that you were waiting for.
I would give this a chance for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe not. If you already have one or you've already spent over $200 on a paddle recently, probably not worth it. But outside of that, this is worth a shot for sure. All right. Next one again. So we have got the Carbon TruFoam 4. Again, there is still limited that we can say. Pretty much no real spec or details can be released about these. I think what I am safe to say is that it is going to retail for $280 still, so exact same price as the other TruFoams in the lineup. It is dimensions wise, it's 16.2 by 7.8, so it is a hybrid length. It is also nearly as wide as the TruFoam 3, which, hot take, was my favorite.
Mean two?
From the original. No, yes, the two. The two. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Three is the MacGuffin shape.
Yes, you're right. The two. The three was factually my favorite, but the two is really good too. It is flared out shape. From bottom to top per usual, 5.5 inch handle length. Everything else, again, not to get into details, but
the grip is more comfortable.
Grip.
Well, you said you didn't notice a difference.
I didn't notice a huge difference.
But my main complaint on the first one was I felt the grip was really boxy. This one feels very much more like tennis shaped.
100%.
So I like the grip on this.
Yeah. So here's the one question that I think we can answer without getting into specs. Again, is this better than the original shapes?
Yes.
I think so too. I really think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I fully agree. This is probably going to be, again, another one of these paddles where if you didn't like the original TRUFOAMs, but were sort of on board with the, Gen 4 concept or bought into whatever Carbon has to offer, then you're going to want to watch the reviews that come out on this paddle. It's going to launch the 23rd. So I'll probably have a mini review out by then. Yeah, that is, again, pretty much all that we can really say about it. We are able to show it. We are able to sort of talk about how it, looks and feels overall. But if you guys want the detailed specs, and as you're doing that, here's another thing. We talked about a certain characteristic about the Ripple that made it significantly better than the other shapes. If that same characteristic was your main problem with the original TRUFOAMs, which was, again, a lot of people, this fixes that.
Yes.
We won't give specifics, but this fixes that. So this is going to be good.
Here. I think this is your favorite paddle of the group.
It really is. So here we have the GEARBOX GX2 Powers. So Aaron, you can grab the other one too, because there's going to be two shapes. We have the typical GEARBOX elongated shape, the same shape that you all know and love. We have a new hybrid shape from GEARBOX. So but in the past, their hybrid shape was the Integra shape. It never made a lot of sense to me. I was a fan of the sort of the GX2 Integra a little bit, but the Hyper just felt significantly better. This, however, is not the Integra shape. It is still the same length as the Integra. I believe it's 16.2. It is wider, though. It is actually much closer to nearly a standard shape paddle, so kind of like the Hyper.
Did they maximize the dimensions on it?
So they did not maximize no, they didn't, but just by a little bit. Like the Integra, you could seriously notice that there was guys, we need, don't just shorten it. The length, you need more face space. But this one, they got a lot closer to it. Again, a lot of paddles don't 100% maximize the surface area. This one is very close to that. But tell me, so let's start with you. You didn't like these. What did you not like about them?
I don't know. I felt they were kind of hard to control. You have to adjust the way you play. Again, this is the same thing with all gearboxes, though, right? You need to adjust the way you play.
Yeah.
Right? The way you hit a shot. I feel like the dwell time isn't necessarily... I don't know. I feel like it pockets really well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually, spin the ball, right? I don't know. It's just interesting. It wasn't my favorite paddle. Not saying that it's a bad paddle. I can definitely see how it'd be good for a lot of players. It's just... Or not a lot, but... players. It'd be good for players. But for me, the risk or the amount of time that I would need in order to hone this thing is not worth the reward I would get by mastering it.
Sure.
Sure. There's so many other paddles that I can basically play for an hour, feel pretty dialed, go into a tournament with it and be like, I'd do okay.
Yeah.
But this, I would have to put in a bunch of time to get that exact same result. I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I think the result, or the reason, kind of, because we've hit the GX2 before, I think the GX2 original felt a lot more familiar. I talked a lot in that review about how the way that the SST Core 2.0 kind of just peppers the cells that go through the entire face kind of replicates more of a polypropylene core feel to it. With them doing that, with them toning down power significantly on the original GX2s, like you're saying, it felt a lot more intuitive.
Yeah.
These definitely go much higher back up on the power scale. Again, not band pro power level or anything like that. Nothing super top of the scale, but still very, very much up there. A lot of really good, nearly all foam or all foam power paddles have come out recently, and are rather very powerful ones. And these are definitely This is a GX2 Power for sure. Also, I take back what I said. I just looked at the dimensions again. It's 16.2 by 7.8, so they do maximize the face space on these. So kudos, Gearbox. Good stuff. I personally, I'm on board with you for the elongated. I just felt like the this shape, whatever it is about it, there is a tightness to the sweet spot that I'm not a super big fan of. And what that results in with a power paddle is a paddle that when you hit the sweet spot, the ball just rockets off. And when you miss it, it doesn't. And so it's a little bit harder to predict your shots. This felt a lot more predictable. I feel like this one also broke in a little bit faster.
That's because you hit that one more because you liked it more.
I did. Okay, but I'm saying objectively, just from like the amount of time that I spend on a paddle in general, this broke in faster because Gearbox was essentially reinforcing their paddles a bit more intentionally because USAP is trying to move towards your paddle can never go past 0.44 on PB core if we were to test it at any point, or 0.43 moving forward, actually. And so they were much more in that lane. They've kind of broken back out of it and gone back to their original roots of high power, breaks in a little bit quicker, which is good, I think, so you can know what it plays like faster. And the hybrid has a much better sweet spot, much more consistent. Like you said, the power is not, directly correlated to your swing always. So if you are not used to a power paddle, I probably wouldn't dive into this. But the other good thing here with this is like it's retailing for $280. They are allowing discount codes on these, which Gearbox does not typically do. Gearbox would be an investment that I would make, particularly with these, for a paddle that is again a lot more durable but still has a high amount of power. The problem was that price-wise, it always felt kind of inaccessible. But I think that bringing it down with the discount code is a really smart move by them.
I like the look of the other one, though. What's it, the other GX2?
The green one?
The green one.
Yeah.
I felt like the edge guard on that one just felt so much cooler, plus a little bit more substantial. These ones feel a little bit thinner in terms of the whatever the edge guard is. It just feels thinner. But I mean, the swing weights on these are significantly improved.
So much better.
I think these are definitely lighter, so I mean that's probably one thing that helped, but I like the look of the other one more.
Yeah, you're a gradient edge guard guy.
I am.
You're great.
I am.
But yeah, so I guess final point here, this or the original GX2?
Honestly, this one okay. This one probably not. So this one.
So the hybrid in particular over the original GX2.
Over the original GX2.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm gonna try and find out the launch date is pretty soon here. It's coming up for us. I'm gonna double check it real quick here. We are looking at. I don't have Wi-Fi here. It's later this month. It's later this month. But very very soon. So if you haven't bought into the GX2, I would at least try the hybrid.
Side note, why is the gearbox sign not centered?
I don't think that is going to be on productions. I think they sent us some early ones because you're absolutely right. The butt cap is not super centered. I hope I can get the camera to focus on that. But yeah, I don't expect that to be a problem on the productions. It's just they've never sent me a paddle like that. So I would be surprised. But something to monitor. Okay, now we get into another paddle that I've gotten a lot of questions about. So these are the Alpha Pro Powers from 11.624. Is the Vapor standing on its own?
It is
crazy. The Pegasus standing on its own? No way. Oh no, not the Hirache.
No.
Okay, we'll stick with the Pegasus and Vapor for now. But yeah, so the Alpha Pro Power is coming. Not a lot of super new stuff being introduced here. We've got the same shapes as the original Power series from 11.624. Hirache X, Vapor, Pegasus. Still, the main difference here in these, there's a couple. Firstly, instead of having a CFC layup, so a fiberglass layer sandwiched between two carbon fiber layers, we've got an FCC layup. So the fiberglass layer is actually on top, and then we've got 2 layers of carbon fiber underneath it. We do also have a slightly wider cell size. We're going 10 millimeter cells on the core. And we also, and I think this is the more interesting point, so they mentioned that there is that these are lighter than the originals for more maneuverability. Agree or disagree?
These are lighter.
These are lighter.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially you notice it big time on the Huarache X.
Yeah.
I think that swing weight difference is noticeable. But again, overall, you had an interesting take of the Huarache X between the Vapor, because the Vapor is the most popular Power Series shape.
It's supposed to be the right in between, like lighter swing weight, more maneuverable. But I don't know what it was, but I definitely felt that with these 2 paddles, the Huarache X was definitely more maneuverable than the Vapor, and it really wasn't that hard to compare. But like it's just weird because you would assume that this has a lighter swing weight than this, but I don't necessarily think that's true.
Yeah, I agree.
It might have to be with the balance point and how it's all balanced, but
yeah, something that's always been really good about the Huarache X, and that goes back to the Powers and pretty much and the All Courts and the Jelly Beans, like all of them, is that the Huarache X has been surprisingly well balanced for an elongated paddle. Again, you're dealing with a 6-inch handle, and paddles with that long of handles are, in my opinion, almost never balanced properly. But the Huarache X always has been. So that's always good. The thing is like you said, the Vapor is the hybrid shape. The Pegasus is always going to feel the lightest. It still feels the lightest. So now this is probably, if you're looking for like higher power to low swing weight ratio, the Pegasus is probably the one to go with from the 11624 lineup. But for some reason, it's like you said, I'm pretty sure its balance point, the Vapors, for some reason, is not higher than the Huarache X, but that's because it's a shorter paddle. But I think it's just higher proportionally to the Huarache X. So I actually think we'll see, if people want to go APP, Alpha Pro Power, I think Huarache X probably should be the most popular.
This one was my favorite. So I arranged these in terms of
this is your
in terms of this was my favorite
and this is the least
that
favorite.
was my least favorite.
Yeah.
This one is solid.
I would have only switched Pegasus and Vapor. So Vapor still middle for me. Pegasus kind of in order of decreasing height. That was my preference. What did you? So again, we hit all these paddles at the same time.
Yeah.
What did you feel plushness versus pinginess on these? Was this more on the plush side or more on the pingy side?
Shoot, how do I don't even remember. I just remember I liked it. That's all I remember.
I'm done.
Plush? I think it was plush.
Yeah.
It was plush.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a disagreement on the VATICs, which we'll talk about later. But the Huarache X is definitely on the plusher side. I actually think the plushness has gone up on these than it had. I've hit the originals more recently than you. The plushness has gone up. I think that this is an even more plush experience. It is also, again, I think because they're using some lighter materials in to make them a little bit better swing weight wise, it makes them more responsive. So paddles like the C45 are super they have good plushness, but they are also more responsive than muted because they use those lighter materials that kind of make you feel more connected to the ball. This trended more towards that direction. So that's why I also said it feels more like an SLK era, is because the era feels plush but is still fairly responsive, easy to feel the ball. This one trends more towards that, in that direction, and I think it was smart because I said in that video, if I could choose between the SLK era and the original Power Series, no price involved, I would have gone era. So this comes out, it feels again,
I actually choose this one over the era.
I would choose that over the era too, and they're at the same price,
same warranty as well.
Same warranty. So
that means, I don't know, but the one thing that is slightly different is the edge guard on the Era, like it feels like the Era is made with higher quality materials, but at the same time, I wouldn't say that this is a low quality feeling paddle. It just feels lighter, you know?
Yeah, I suppose. Like materials wise, I think that maybe the edge guard on the SLK Era feels a little bit more substantive. It has like a slightly, the way it's balanced is different, so it feels a little bit weightier and gives that perception
It's
of
like
higher
textured
quality
as well too. Like there's a little bit more attention to detail, I would say, on the Era like edge guard and stuff, which makes it feel like really high quality.
Yeah, here's the thing. I agree that there's higher attention to design, like construction on the Era. I think that overall, though, attention to detail goes to this.
Like this still looks really cool.
It looks much better.
I like the color scheme.
The edge guard is better. It has a branded butt cap. You guys know I'm a design snob, okay? If your paddle is blank on the edge guard, you're never going to make me buy into the fact that your paddle should be over like 150, to be honest. But again, 11624 stayed consistent with the design, and yeah, it looks sick. So it looks better, feels better than the originals.
Would buy. 10 out of 10 would buy.
Yeah. Especially because the discount on these, I did clarify, I did mess up in the video. Discount codes are $10, so these will come out to $190, which again is still lower than the SLK Era, and that's enough of an argument in and of itself. If you like the Era, but you want cheaper and you want an actual discount and not just like store credit.
Yeah, but if you want your paddle to match your really cool large SELKIRK bag.
True. Everybody does have that bag.
Everyone's got that bag.
Gives and takes. There's reasons for both, for sure. Alrighty.
Laser.
Let's get into the Laser 16 HD pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
They've got the pew 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 here on the design. I freaking love this paddle just because of the design. But yeah, no, this is I don't think we've ever talked about a GRUVN paddle together yet.
Never. It's the first GRUVN paddle I've ever hit.
Yeah. Okay. So first impressions. What did you think, playability wise?
Super playable.
Pew, pew, pew.
I don't even know how to say it. It just felt really intuitive. Like the swing weight was really nice. Everything. It just does what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite foam core paddle.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I'm inclined to agree almost. I think if there was a paddle that was going to derail the J2NF for me as like my favorite foam core paddle, this is the only one that's really gotten close. But yeah, this is a paddle. This is again, it's 16.2 by 7.8, which are dimensions that we've heard already today, because those are the same dimensions as the hybrid paddle coming from GEARBOX. So it also has a 5.5 handle. So again, same as the GEARBOX. Overall, exact same GEARBOX dimensions, except you have more of this this curved shape towards the top, which typically reduces sweet spot size, but I didn't feel that.
No, I felt this had a really large sweet spot.
Yeah, 100%. It also same as the pew pew pew. Oh, it's on both sides, so I don't have to turn it around.
Yeah.
As the pew 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 implies, this paddle does hit hard. It is definitely a high power paddle. It is not on the extreme side though, which is what makes it manageable. I think this hits softer than the GX2 power, but has that same, for me, sweet spot size.
I feel like the swing weight is relatively low, but I feel like the balance is slightly higher on the paddle. So it feels like there's nice plow through on the ball, just even though it's lower.
Yeah, for sure. It is balanced a little bit higher than the GX2 power as well. And yeah, it is a hybrid. This is a hybrid carbon fiber Kevlar face construction. It is it's solid foam on the inside. It has that Gen 2, firm foam on the edges to reinforce the sweet spot. But then on the inside, it's solid foam. It really shocks me, right? Because we had the SELKIRK 008s that came out earlier this year, solid foam block.
how could you not make something like this? Like, those were just so incredibly, they're great control paddles. Those are honestly front runners for control paddles of the year.
I want to know what makes this hit so much harder than the SELKIRK.
Exactly.
If it truly is a solid block of foam.
Yeah, I need to talk to Justin or something, because this is, how, and we also saw, Mark was, in prototypes potentially for a solid foam paddle, among others, that all failed due to power levels, due to PB core. And I was like, how can that be possible? It's a solid block of foam. 008s were not control oriented. I think Braden from Pickleball Effect kind of put it nicely on his story a couple weeks back. He was like, I kind of started to lose hope that a pure on solid block pure foam paddles. I kind of thought that Gen 4 was just going to head into a just really nice paddles, nice feeling, but just really soft, kind of no offensive capabilities direction. And very recently, these paddles are coming out, the GX2s, the Ripples, of course, and this, we talked about the Flick F1 last week. That thing hits like a monster.
Yeah.
This is, again, not monster level, still high power level. So I think this is like a front runner if you wanted a pure foam paddle that is actually maneuverable and gives you a good plow through feeling without being unmanageable in the power. And here is the better thing. Price wise, $180.
Yes. So you can get away with no design on the edge guard.
Yeah, the no design on the edge guard it still gets me. It's branded on the butt cap though, at least, and they have a branded they have a branded grip kind of rubber holder here.
I don't even know what these are.
I don't know what the actual
I
name
will
is.
say the thing that when paddles don't have these, it bugs me.
Yes, I'm
so
saying.
Like, I don't know why all the SELKIRK paddles don't have them.
It's like
really,
it's just the sticker. Like, I don't like it.
Well, I mean, I guess the Era has it. The SLK line has these rubber things.
Yeah, but the premium
ones are just tape.
don't, which is so funny. But yeah, no, GRUVN did a great job with these. Again, it's gonna be 180. I believe discount codes are 10%, so it's gonna be 162. That's how math works. Good. I would actually
would buy.
Yeah. If you're looking for, again, pure foam, high degree of controllability with power, this is very good. The one thing that I will mention is that so these are technically, I believe,
illegal soon.
Potentially. I'm gonna cut this if I don't. If the info is wrong, because I need to clarify with Kevin. There is a version of the Laser 16 HD that is currently out on the market that is technically under PB Core 4.4, but not under PB Core 4.3, which USAP is shifting to that being the maximum to kind of reduce power even further. So in any case, if those paddles, if you bought them already, those are going to be only legal until May 1st of 2026, which is still a long time away, but definitely something to keep in mind. So we're going to, I'm going to clarify with Kevin if this model that he sent me is the one that's going to be approved perpetually or the one that's going to be sunset in May. So keep that in mind if you already purchased one, but if you didn't and you're waiting for the next drop, good.
Oh yeah, I better not see any mods around.
Really good stuff. Oh yeah, no mod. All right, RIP mod, July 1, 2025. Yeah. Tough. Okay, Aaron, let's get into the last paddles of the day. These are probably the most highly anticipated ones.
These were fun.
They were
kind of scary, but they were fun.
Yeah, so this is the new VATIC Pro V-Core lineup. Notably absent from this lineup, what we were able to hit is the V7 short handle. Don't know what happened there. I think I've seen a lot of times in the past, there are just certain shapes that a company makes where when they change the formulation, it happens to become illegal, not pass PB Core, etc. Not going to speculate there, but could be one factor, because I know that most other reviewers did not get a V7 short handle either. But let's look at these in order. We have every single other shape. Let's start with the Bloom. So Bloom, again, is VATIC's wide body shape. How did you feel about this how was the play experience?
Super comfortable, actually.
Yeah.
I think on On this one, I wasn't really too worried about popping a ball up. This is definitely powerful.
Yeah.
I would say out of all of them, it's probably the most controllable.
Yes. Yeah.
With-
Yeah.
Without, you won't have to take too much time to adjust, which is nice.
Yeah. What did you feel about sweet spot and spin?
Large sweet spot,
Mm-hmm.
moderate to high spin.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. Same. I think they have a pretty decent texture on
these
this.
are definitely much more textured than the normal VATICs that I'm used to touching.
Yeah, side note, like these are maybe slightly more gritty than VATICs that I'm used to. There's a lot of paddles out there that feel on the smoother side, but we came to find out talking to a couple of owners that those grit levels are actually what is legal. So other paddles that we've been hitting where we talk about extreme grit, it's probably they are increasing the grit a little bit post-production. Whether that's to compensate for the fact that grit will wear out or not is, that's up to them. This while feeling at a level that is similar to what we've seen from legal paddles, still maintains a good level of spin. And on the Bloom specifically, I think it has the largest sweet spot.
This is probably the best paddle for the most people if you are going to go with this paddle.
Yeah, this is going to be the most accessible for sure. And before I dive into the next one, I also just want to talk about shout out to VATIC for the design, man. The again, I loved the Sagas or Sagas, however you say it. Saga, whatever. I love the Sagas. I love the oh no. Ran out of space on the memory card there. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's get back into it. So we were talking V-Core. Design on the V-Core has gotten so much better. There's a darker orange being used in the design, and the edge guard is this matte black with the branding. Oh, I'm so happy with it. I really think these are the best looking.
Matte black everything.
Matte black everything. I think these are the best looking VATIC paddles that have come. But yeah, that's the Bloom. Most controllable, largest sweet spot, easily most accessible considering the amount of power that we're about to get into with these subsequent shapes.
Yes.
So now let's talk flash. We had flash short handle and flash long handle, thankfully. What did you feel like? Was there any major difference between the two, between having the short versus the long handle?
This one hit harder.
Did hit harder.
But this one I felt more connected to the ball, a little bit more maneuverable, but that's to be expected with a shorter handle.
Yeah.
I guess
There's a slight height difference.
Slight height
It's just the handle though. Like you would think the hitting area being the same would make it feel similar, but it actually does make a decent difference. I agree. I think you feel more in control and connected to the ball here, probably because the shorter handle puts your hand closer to the hitting
I
surface.
just realized, is the edge guard diagonaled?
Just a little bit. That's an interesting point. Can I push this down?
Yeah, no, you can't push it down.
Is it on all of them?
I don't know.
Or is it the table? No, it's the paddle.
Yeah, it's a paddle. These are all diagonal.
Oh, snap.
Slightly. I didn't realize that until I
That's-
just tried to line them up.
That's so random. How did you even notice that?
Because I was like this. I was trying to line them up to see the height difference.
Wow. Okay. I'll try to shoot a close up after the pod so that y'all can see this. You probably can't see from that far away, but the edge guards are a bit angled. Hopefully, yeah. That's weird. I didn't notice it when I was playing,
either.
but hopefully, that's not just like optics wise something that happens on the production models. But yeah, Flash is more or less maneuverable than the Bloom.
Oh, less.
Less. Agreed. Agreed.
Less.
Agreed. One thing that is a common theme across all of these, the swing weight is high.
Yes.
The swing weight is high in all of these, particularly the long handle,
Yes.
Sega, and or Flash and V7.
Uh-huh.
That's another reason why the Bloom kind of emerged as a front runner, I think, for both of us, is because it has a more middle of the road.
Front runner for everyone else.
Front runner for everyone else, sorry.
Right.
As a front runner for the average players, because the swing weight is a lot more maneuverable, or manageable, I should
For us
say.
below average players,
It's definitely these.
definitely these, yeah.
No, but yeah, the Flashes, they have a purely shape-based differences, I think. So smaller sweet spot, do hit harder, especially again. Flash long handle. This thing hits hard already.
Yeah.
Has a high swing weight, but still hits hard. We had a difference of opinion. Let's talk ball feel. Did you feel like these, again, were these plush or were these pingy?
I thought when I first hit these, like on these, it felt kind of pingy when I was hitting dinks.
Okay, I actually kind of agree. I think that the softer you hit the ball...
I thought you disagreed with me.
I disagreed with you because you said it was pingy, like, period. I was like, no, from the baseline, these feel, like, you can feel the, experience the dwell and the plushness of the paddle. I think that hasn't changed. The problem is that, especially as we talk about the flashes, and then as we get into the V7 as well, the sweet spots actually do feel like they are getting significantly smaller in comparison to the bloom.
Yes.
The sweet spots are getting smaller. I think it makes them feel more pingy at the kitchen line. Yeah.
Notice all the ball marks on this side? That's me. And then the ball marks on this side? I'm gonna blame him.
Hey, there's just the one. I swear to God, there's only one difference. Okay, so then so that's the flashes. So now finally, let's cover the V7. This thing hits holy shit hard.
Yeah, I think I hit a drive from the baseline and you kind of jumped. You got scared. Like he knew that the drive was coming. He like audibly jumped. Yeah, not audibly, but visibly jumped. Just like, oh.
Yeah, I jumped and I think I probably like swung right through one or something. Like there was a lot of mistiming issues that was caused by this. So it's a great thing, again, if you're looking for the high level of power. The V core itself, it is a pure foam core. It is the same, very similar construction to the Flick F1. So the fact that this paddle hits hard is not super surprising to me. And also, side note, I talked about it a little bit earlier when I said in my GX2 video that it kind of felt like it had a polypropylene core feel to it because of all the cells in it. This is the construction type that has like all of the circular holes, like the little grid of holes. And VATIC actually said in their intro video to reviewers about this paddle that they did so to give it more of a polypropylene type feel. So I felt very validated in that. But yeah, this hits very hard. Power paddle enthusiasts are going to have a field day with this. Here's the one issue I had. Again, we get even smaller on the sweet spot compared to the flash shape.
You can't block a ball.
You can't block the ball. If somebody else has a power paddle and you leave the paddle there, it is so poppy that the ball is going to shoot back. It's going to go out depending on how hard they hit it.
Yeah. I mean, well, if your timing is good, it's okay.
If you can get any level of on top of it.
Any on top or just like making sure that you can hold that paddle like parallel with the net, it'll be okay. But if like you're one of those people that like when you try to block a ball, your paddle is just like open. Slightly open, that ball is to the moon.
Yeah, you're screwed. That's it. Which I think a lot of people may. So again, it could just, I think in my opinion, advanced player recommended for the V7, because like you said, there is actually a lot of times when you can block with this paddle, especially against other paddles that don't hit as hard, and your block goes like within a foot of the baseline, like it's almost unreturnable. I think
you were driving against me and I'm like, no, you can't drive against me with this paddle because like I just stand here and the ball is literally at your feet in the back with minimal effort.
Yeah, forces you to drop the next one for sure.
But my timing is okay.
Yeah, your timing. Yeah, your timing's good. Exactly. Mine is definitely. I don't think mine is worse. But also, I do sometimes make the mistake of keeping my paddle face a little open. So, I still liked it a lot though. Again, as a power paddle enthusiast, holy
swing weight, Batman. This thing is so heavy.
Yeah,
this thing is so heavy.
That's the one problem for me.
Because I do remember saying yesterday when we were hitting these, I said, if you really want to know what a drive from a real like power paddle with a super heavy like head heavy balance is, I'm gonna show you right here. And then I proceeded to rip the ball.
Wailed it. Yeah, for sure. These are definitely the highest swing weight paddles across the board that VATIC has ever produced.
If I were to ever become a singles player, this would actually probably be my paddle.
Yeah, it could be up. It could be up there for sure, especially because again, feel wise, it's going to feel very similar to what you're used to because of the little hole construction. But yeah, it does definitely come in handy. And
Yeah, and I actually like
Yeah.
this one more than this shape, just because like if I'm really gonna look to hit hard, this one is the one that hits harder because it's again the heaviest swing weight over this one. I'm not really looking for that much maneuverability if I were to be in singles, and if I was looking for more maneuverability, I would have selected the short handle or the bloom.
for sure,
So
So okay. Yes, and here's the most important thing about these paddles. They're $99.
I would buy all four.
They're $99. It's like it's a pure foam paddle that contains all the durability. They made the design even better, and like they made the design one that you would see from a company that started off at 99 and then went bumped up to 150 or whatever. But they brought the price down from the Sagas. They hit harder. I think they feel better. They feel a little
I
bit
like
more
them more than
premium.
the Sagas. I again, originally playing them, there's going to be a slight adjustment because of how much harder they hit.
Yeah, the high pop, high power.
So you're gonna need a little bit of adjustment, but I think once you adjust, it's for $100 you cannot. I don't think there's a better deal.
I don't think so either.
This is
Like
probably the best deal.
this is an instant buy over a lot of other power paddles. So I'm trying to think if there's any like power paddle that I wouldn't. I guess the feeling is a bit more muted. So if you want to feel, you mentioned we feel most connected on the short handle ones. As you get to the long handles or even the bloom, honestly, you do feel more of that muted disconnect from the ball, especially compared to the amount of power that comes off of it and the pop, especially at the kitchen line. So they do have a high swing weight. They do have smaller sweet spots than what you might be used to. So maybe not an instant buy, but if price is super big to you and you're like, hey, I want something that hits as hard as the Flick F1 or hits as hard or maybe even harder, honestly, than a Yola, especially when you get to the V7 long handle, and you don't mind the high swing weight, and again, you can hit with precision, that would make this an instant buy. At $99, I would buy 3 of these before I buy a Yola.
Yes.
Given
Agreed.
those characteristics. Okay. Fantastic. Alrighty. Actually, here, real quick, put them in order. These 4 that we got, what would be your order of preference?
My singles preference?
No, just overall.
Aren't you lucky you get to edit today?
I
I finally get a quiet space for you today, and then
And then we had the card run out of space, and then of course I didn't bring my backup batteries for my camera, so rebooting back here for a second. All right, Aaron, so we cut off at you making your ranking just overall. And so that ranking was such. It was
short handle,
short handle flash,
bloom,
number 2,
long handle flash,
3
long handle V7
at 4.
But if we're playing singles,
V7 is 1.
V7 1.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup. I think that I almost agree. I think that I would agree that the short handle flash is the best right now. For me, you had. Wait, no, did we agree? No, we didn't, because I would put the flash short handle at 4, and I would put the V7. So for me, V7 long handle is 3 and is better than the flash long handle. That's the only difference that we have. But yeah, that'd be my personal order. But again, can't go wrong with $99. But it's not. Is it even 99? The discount codes are going to work,
right?
Yeah, the discount codes are going to work. It's going to be $90, dude. These are going to be a problem. We're going to see a lot of people using these.
Yep.
We're going to see a lot of people using these.
So, 4 paddles for $360.
Yeah.
That's one. That's one
SELKIRK paddle.
That's one SELKIRK Labs paddle.
One SELKIRK Labs paddle. Oh my gosh. It's hard to believe. Especially because, like, if you looked at both of those paddles, you would think the same amount of effort goes into them. Now, obviously, SELKIRK has not to knock SELKIRK, they have a very, advanced manufacturing process that is going on over there. But from appearances on the outside, this looks really good for $100. You would never, ever think that from everything that I've seen in the past.
Ooh, okay. I don't see a PB Corp stamp.
I don't think you don't have to put that on your paddle. So I don't personally look at it. I think some companies do it just to cover their tracks, but
Wait, so can you play these in all tournaments?
you can not play. These are not UPA approved, but they are USAP approved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't play PPA.
You cannot play like high level PPA. I'm pretty sure people use USAP approved paddles all the time at amateur level.
Scrub level.
Yeah, I mean I did technically no because I used the Agassi and that was dual. That's dual. Yeah, you can. I saw people using a Ripple in like a 3.5 in the 3.5 bracket, like the original Ripple in the 3.5 bracket at the PPA that Texas Open. Yeah, I was not a fan, but is what it is. Cool. And kind of that wraps up the paddles for today. But that kind of last mention that I had about the SELKIRK process is kind of a good segue into the last thing that I wanted to mention, which is that SELKIRK is hosting a media day event. They're hosting that at their HQ in Idaho, and I'm gonna head out there. So a lot of you might have seen all of the content from Chris and from John and Braden and Brian. I think those were all the guys that went out originally. SELKIRK is doing a round 2, inviting a few more of us. So I'm going to see that whole process, get to one-on-one interview them, talk about why their paddles are so expensive, hopefully show you guys the process that leads them to make their paddles so expensive. So that'll be really good, and I'm excited for that. But yeah, that wraps up things for us today here, Aaron. Thanks for going through this fat stack of paddles with me once again. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting down below what paddles you want to learn more about in full reviews, or if you've hit any of these, what your personal thoughts are. Me and Aaron always want to hear those, and we obviously respond to comments. So with that, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay out on the courts until the next one.
Peace.
Gotcha. Peace. Good stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, the editing is gonna be a pain for you, eh?
Maybe we'll see. It's honestly just the clapping.